Shalom, Rabbi Galit.
Shalom, Erev Tov.
Erev Tov. Not Erev Tov near you yet.
Come on, turn around. Oh, shoot. Okay. Shalom Sue. And George. And Reba. There's Amy.
Shalom.
Shalom to Chris and Albert.
No problem.
Now we go to. Come on. Now that's interesting. Huh. Well, if anybody was looking at the Sim Shalom site, I can't turn the pages for whatever reason. So that's all there is to that. And Shalom Barbara.
Hallelujah.
שבת כולנו יחד. Behold how good and how pleasant it is when all of us dwell together in unity. Baruch Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due, now and forever. Your love has embraced us always in wilderness and promised land, in good times and in bad. Night and day your Torah sustains us, reviving the spirit, delighting the heart, informing the soul, opening the eyes, and granting us a glimpse of eternity. Because of your love, we shall embrace Torah night and day in devotion and delight. Beloved are you, Adonai, whose Torah reflects your love. The Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Listen, Israel. Adonai is our God. Adonai is one. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם מלאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. You shall love Adonai your God with all your mind, with all your soul, and with all your strength. Set these words which I command you on this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. Thus you will become holy to your God. I, Adonai, am your God who brought you out of Egypt to be your God. I, Adonai, am your God. Adonai Elohechem emet. Adonai, your God, is true. Mi chamocha. who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders. O God, you are a consolation to your creatures. For in moments of forgetting, we but call to mind your care, and we're comforted. When we hope no more, a pattern in the snow reminds us of your loving kindness. Your dawns give us confidence, and sleep is a friend. You are here. We fail words to say, Ma Tov. Baruch atah Adonai, haborei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach erutei ve'amlik malchutei, be'kar yekonu v'yom ekonu chai d'kol beit Yisrael, ba'gala u'vizman kariv v'imeru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lal me'almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitromam v'yitnosei v'yidadar v'yidaleh v'yitalal shemei kodesha b'richu Leila mikol birkata v'shirata tushbechata v'nekemata damiran be'alma v'imeru amen. Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. Adonai, sifatai tiftaku fi agit tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei avoteinu v'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim ve'Konei Hakol, Ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot Me'imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ava. Nelek Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Nechayei Hakol atah, Rav Le'Hoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid haGashem, Nekokel chayim bekesed, Nekayei hakol berakamim rabim, Tzomdek noflim verofei kolim, U'matir asurim, U'ekayem emunato lishenei avar. Yeshua. Please take a moment now to say your own private prayer from your heart, silently. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imeru. We'll do our little Torah service. Torah reading, anyway, not service entirely. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Elrak Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, ve'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
The reading this week is from Bo, which means come. Come to Pharaoh, because I've hardened his heart. It's from Exodus chapter 12, verse 29 through 32. Amen. Vayhi bechatzi halayla, v'Adonai hika kol bechor be'eretz Mitzrayim, מבכור פרעה היושב על כיסאו עד בכור השביעי אשר בבית הבור, דכל בכור החמה. ויקם פרעה לילה, הוא וכל עבדיו בכל מצרים, ותהי צעקה גדולה במצרים, כי אין בית אשר אין שם מת. ויקרא למשה ולאהרון לילה, ויאמר קומה צאו מתוך עמי, גם אתם גם בני ישראל, ולכו עבדו את אדוני כדברכם, גם צונכם, גם בקרכם קחו, כאשר דיברתם, ולכו, וברכתם גם אותי.
Come of tea.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
And she said, in the middle of the night, Adonai struck down all the male firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on the throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the cattle. And Pharaoh arose in the night with all his courtiers and all the Egyptians, because there was a loud cry in Egypt, for there was no house where there was not someone dead. He summoned Moses and Aaron in the night and said, up, depart from among my people, you and the Israelites with you. Go, worship Adonai as you said. Take also your flocks and your herds as you said, and be gone, and may you bring a blessing upon me also. A blessing? For okay. Interesting that he asks for a blessing.
Well, Rabbi, I think he didn't. For him, he was letting them go. So for him, I guess no matter how much time it took, he
Sure.
thought it was,
He's
I
the
should
good
get a
guy.
blessing for this.
He's the good guy, right?
Right, right.
Go worship as you said. So finally, he recognizes God's supremacy. Then it goes on to say that they were afraid that the Israelites were going to kill them all. It says the Egyptians urged the people on, impatient to have them leave the country, for they said, we shall all be dead. Or maybe it's just they were afraid of the plague hitting them too, even if they weren't firstborn. And they took all their dough and they put it on the rocks, and because it was warm. Did Pharaoh believe in God? Pharaoh believed in many gods. Pharaoh recognized that their God was more powerful than his gods. But I wouldn't say that he, quote unquote, believed in God. He didn't become a God-fearing man, quote unquote. He continued to worship his gods, his animal gods, his whatever. It didn't make him a good guy. He may have thought he was a good guy, but he really wasn't. Okay, onward. To the Aleinu. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Ours is the duty to praise the All-Sovereign, to honor the artist of creation who made us unique in the human family with a destiny all our own. For this, we bend our knees and bow with gratitude before the sovereign, almighty monarch of all. the wellspring of holiness and blessing. On that day the eternal shall be one, and God's name shall be one. Misha Berach. For the sick, I'm going to do 2 prayers today. My list is getting longer. But thank you, Albert, for sending me the coronavirus prayer. So I'm doing that one as well as the regular Misha Berach. My list is Ada Bat Chania, that's Amy. A friend of mine, Charlene Chavez, on the death of her husband, Joe. Janae Slater, my granddaughter. Gary Jacob, husband of Rabbi Rose Jacob. Robert Stein and Andrea Graboff. Betty, a friend of Susie Katz, who I guess is improving a great deal. I haven't heard from her actually for the last few days, so things must be going very well. The family of Carmen Rose Lichtenstein. Families and friends of the Midwest Tornadoes. Sharon Ben Sarah. Rachel and Bat Benjamin. Lori, Bud, and Liliana Franzen, Baruch Bar Miriam, Jennifer B., Michael Druck, Tamara Blecker, Ziona Swigert, Chava Bat Elsa, Albert's granddaughter Maddie, Yosef Ben Albert and Valerie Madison, Batya Malka Bat Peril Chaya, Menachem Ben Menashe, Roland and Judy Hansen, Shendel Bat Sharon, Chana Bat Shendel, all the COVID-19 victims and all of who suffer from the Guillain-Barré syndrome. And wait a minute, I gotta back up, you guys. Sharon is praying for Georgette Meyerowitz, who's recovering from a surgery. Albert is praying for Valerie, Aaron, Maddie, Trey, Amy, Beth, Mayo, Malcolm, Rose, Roxy, Rose, and Albert. Sharon is also praying for Beverly, Maureen, Becca, Joe Meyerowitz family in Georgia. Sue is praying for Dorothy, Mark, Marlene, Sarah, Carol, Jean, Bob, Roberta, and Ray, and Fluffy Muffin. I bet I know who that is. Ellen is praying for all who are homeless. Sharon is praying for Stephen, all creatures who need healing, and Stanley. Ellen is praying for Perry Ben Betty, Marlene Bat Chaya, Ellen Bat Sally, Venatan, Ula Bat Sylvia, and George is praying for Yoko, Laura, and Bill. Ellen is also praying for Marvin, Beth, Amy, and Tamara. And Sharon is
I'll
praying.
give you my names. They're a real long list. Yes.
That was the first one.
Hmm?
I gave
No, can I give you my names that I have?
Ada Bachanya.
I know, can I give you my names on my list?
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Pam, Hazel, you and silly Mr. You know who. Maddie, my identical twin brother Albert, Valerie Madison, Avi, Janice, Marvin, Jeffrey, Kathy and Lynn Ford, Christine, family, Gabby Petito, Rabbi Nancy, Denise, Donna, Mr. Pickles, of course, Tamara, Joanna, Richie, Rita, Jamie, Danny, Cindy, Judy, Jay, Pete, Anelasa, Pete's wife, Audrey, and for my friend's cat, Sky. Poor little Sky.
Okay. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say Amen. And Sharon's also praying for Jim. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim. Now, the other prayer Albert sent me yesterday, and I will send it out to my synagogue people or anybody else who may happen to want it. It was written by, it says it's Hebrew prayer for the relief of the coronavirus. The original prayer was written by Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef, Sephardi chief rabbi of Israel, who I agree with sometimes and sometimes I don't. But this is beautiful. Please, our merciful and gracious God, let this be a time of mercy and goodwill before you. Show grace, compassion, and mercy to all of us, men, women, and children. Save us from bad affliction, and in particular from the coronavirus, which is spreading throughout the world and which has felled many and many tens of thousands have become ill and infected with it. Save us, have mercy on us, and rescue us, because it is your way to do gratuitous kindness in every single generation. Master of the universe, bring recovery and healing for all our diseases, sufferings, and injuries, and send a cure for this disease. Rescue the entire world from every pestilence and plague, and in particular from the coronavirus, and receive our prayer with mercy and goodwill. And let us say, Amen. I don't know what she does either. I sent her the link and she doesn't. She's unable to get in, and it's Rabbi Blaine's link. I mean, there's nothing else I can send that would make it easier for her to get in. I can't. It's not. I don't know what to tell you. By the way, that prayer I am personally sending to Beth Garnett and to my granddaughter, who's not Jewish, but who cares? She tested positive. Also, the Mourner's Kaddish. And as I said, my friend died 2 nights ago, Joe Chavez, who was born in Queens. I didn't believe him. He's what is he, Filipino descent. And we went out to lunch one time, I remember, with he and his wife and Bob and I, and he said that he was from Queens. I said, I don't believe you. I say coffee. He said, coffee. And I said, okay, I believe you. I went to visit him when he was very ill. He couldn't walk for a while. He was just, I don't remember exactly what the problem was, but it was horrible. And he, when I visited him, he told his wife, and she told me, that my visit to him meant more than his priests. So yesterday morning, very early, she called me to tell me that he'd passed away. And she's still in shock. I haven't been able to actually talk to her since then, but she's still in shock. So I'm saying Kaddish for Joe Chavez, for Betty White, for Gittel Bat Elisheva, for Valentina Orellano Peralta, who was age 14, killed by the police, who were being reckless, for the 800,000 COVID-19 victims in the U.S., for all victims of racial violence, injustice, etc. Ellen is saying thank you. She's praying for my granddaughter too, and for any who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Ellen is praying for Jennifer, Chuck, Maureen, Kathy, Glenn, Tom, and Erna. Sue is saying Kaddish for Michelle, who also passed away from COVID. I'm so sorry. And Ellen is also praying for the 5 people killed on January 6th of 2021. If you like, you may unmute and join me in the Mourner's Kaddish. Okay, Sharon, I'll post it on the Sim Shalom site. Yitgadal
Gadal Yitgadal Shemay Rabba Ba'almati Bre Karata Melecha Melech Chalom Hekayom B'Kabechon B'Chaye Dekol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala B'Izrimi Raviv Imri Amen. Yehi Shma Rava Mavarak Leolam Veolema Leomaya Yitvarak V'Yistabak V'Yistabar V'Yistadar V'Yistalel V'Yitalal Shmei Dibirkedashu Berachu
Le'ela,
Le'olam kol berkata v'shirkata.
Tushbekata,
Tushbakata v'negamata damiran
Dama,
be'alma v'imru. Amen.
Yehi
Yehi
Shalom,
shlama rav mein pareya.
Aleinu,
Hayem aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
say Shalom,
Oseh shalom in Ruma.
say Shalom,
Uviyaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'al kol Yoshvei Tever.
Amen.
Hakol v'imru.
Amy
Amen.
is also praying for Michelle. And for April, the giraffe, for Betty White, for Robert Reber, Sue Marie's cat Sunny, for Pat Harold, George, Daryl, Gould. I know I asked Marvin in here, and I'm going to say, not for Marvin, I should have said that for Misha Barak. Oops. I'm closing with Ailey Ailey. And the poem was written by Hannah Senish. She said, "When I feel like my world is falling apart, I look up at the sky and somehow feel comforted in seeing that it is still there." Hannah Senish, a young paratrooper who saved many Jews in Europe during World War II, wrote these words while walking along the beach in Caesarea in the state of Israel. This is just before she flew into Hungary and parachuted down behind enemy lines, was captured, tortured, and killed. Certainly her world was devastatingly falling apart at this time, and yet there was still sand and sea. She was killed by the Nazis. Let us hope that her prayer never ends. Yes, we can, Amy, sure. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties from sea to shining sea. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody.
Toda Rabba,
I want
Rabbi
to
Gali.
know
Just
if you hit the
beautiful.
Powerball last night because
I did not hit the Powerball. I don't play Powerball.
well, there was one person in California and one person in Wisconsin.
I know.
And I thought that was
I'm sorry, but I didn't do it.
me either.
Laila Tov.
Laila Tov, Toda Rabba.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat
Toda Rabba,
Shalom.
Rabbi Gali.
Hi,
It's a
George.
beautiful
Nice to meet
service.
you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet my
Good. Good to meet you.
my dog's name that I had. His
Nice to
name
meet
was
you too,
Mr.
George.
And everybody stay warm because it's gonna snow tomorrow, except Sue Marie, she's in Florida. It ain't gonna snow.